Welcome to Virtual Vibecheckup, where we dive into a topic each month to discuss the old and new. This year, 3 major new fighting games just came out. Your Only Move is Hustle finally moved out of beta and is available on Steam. The long-awaited crossover platform fighter Framemakers is now in early access, and a popular mobile fighting game called Flash Party got ported to PC. I've been playing a lot of Flash Party lately, and I wanted to share my thoughts on this game. I'm your host, Elijah, and today I have a lot to discuss with you. I first heard of Flash Party the way that people usually do, drowsily browsing YouTube at 3 a.m. with my dog sleeping at my feet. I was blearily staring at my screen, and an advertisement for a platform fighter came up, and it was talking about some drunk girl who was also a firebender. I was intrigued. I play a lot of platform fighters like Smash and Rivals of Aether, but not once had I ever seen an alcoholic join a roster, even though drunken fists are a staple in typical fighting games. However, since it was 3 a.m., I promptly forgot the name of the game. Flash forward 9 months, and on my recommended feed on Steam appeared a free-to-play platform fighter, and I clicked on the page and lo and behold, there was the drunken fighter I was looking for. I was pretty excited, so I downloaded the game, played a match, and forgot about it for a few weeks. In the intervening time, Jaden and I were talking about games to stream, and when I mentioned Flash Party, he told me that a mutual friend of ours happened to lead one of the most successful crews in North America. I went to this friend, got some good advice from him, and started grinding. Flash Party is a platform fighter that follows the trends of more modern multiplayer games. Think about Multiverses specifically, and to a lesser extent Omega Strikers. The game is very floaty feeling, which is pretty understandable since a lot of the game's audience happens to play on mobile devices. I would liken the feel to Smash Bros. Brawl. This isn't like a knock against the game, but the overall weaker combo games and floaty feel encourages the more footsies and defense-oriented neutral. I've unlocked and played against most of the roster, and I have some strong opinions on some of the characters. The starting character is Savi, who is a sort of bait and punish character. I've invested all of my in-game resources and devoted the most time to him. He has a lot of neat little mechanics. He has a chargeable gauge that powers up his specials, a cancelable up and down tilts, and the ability to cancel his specials when powered up. It's kind of like a limit break where they get powerful, but you can also cancel them into a jump or combo move. It's great. He's also one of the few characters that happens to have extensive combos. The first character you unlock is Sophia, who is kind of like a discount Lucina. She doesn't have an extensive combo game like Savi, but her ability to space opponents and kill with a lot of big moves makes her pretty threatening. There's this other character called Miko, but when you close your eyes, he's a ton like Donkey Kong in official Smash titles. Most of these characters are original characters, and you won't find them in any other game. But there happens to be a crossover character named Terrera, and despite my best efforts, I have no clue where she comes from. Aesthetically, I kind of think that the game's art design is a bit a mess. A lot of characters visually clash with each other. I started the game, and Svi is our starting character, and so you kind of expect all the characters to look like him. Sophia, the next character, has these button eyes. So she looks completely different from Savi, art style wise. I do like her apple helmet though. There's Chili, who looks like she came from Coco Melon, and is equally annoying to fight against. And Miko, I don't know what to say about him, but he looks a bit weird. A lot of the characters seem to have pretty neat posing when you select them, but when you think about it, their personalities are kind of unclear to me. And I'm looking at you, Savi. The flip-flop of the emotions, it's just kind of, I don't know, off-putting. In battle, the visuals are actually really good. The KO effects, the attack trails, and the UI is nice, but they're not super-duper intrusive. The stages also look pretty good, but I don't think they're very visually distinct. The one exception is this really cool Donut Land stage. I'd talk about the costumes, but most people I play against don't happen to have any, and I didn't put any money into the game. There's a lot of in-game purchases that the game wants you to buy. Like when you open the game, there's 4 pop-ups you have to close, and they say, "Oh yeah, Eastern Temple skins, Maid Cafe skins, the Wheel of Fortune, buy the Battle Pass." There's like 3 different Battle Passes in this game. It's wild. They seem to be kind of overpriced, which I mean I kind of understand. Most people who play a free-to-play game, they tend not to spend money, and the people that do spend money tend to fall under the category of light spenders. You know, they make a few purchases every once in a while. Yeah, I'm not one of them. I'm not a huge fan of the skins either. Like when they show it, it's kind of like eh, and it's definitely not worth the $5 to $10 they tend to charge. There are other things that you can purchase as well. There are a ton of different currencies. There are gold coins, which you basically use to upgrade your heroes. It makes them like do more damage and like take less damage, which is kind of weird. There are stickers, and you can basically use these sticker fragments to buy stickers, and they're kind of like multiverses stickers where you attach them to a character, and it improves your stats by like 1%. There are these lucky coins, and they're kind of like the super duper premium currency, and you buy a bunch, and you use them to buy skins, you use them to buy gold, you use them to buy basically everything. And they really heavily push you to buy these. There are also hero tokens, which are used specifically to unlock characters, because you unlock, I think, 4 characters just from playing the game normally, but the rest you have to buy from the store. It's kind of like Omega Strikers, where you use the gold that you accumulate to buy characters from the shop. These characters, they actually like differ in price. The newer ones tend to cost a lot more. The older ones don't cost like nearly as much. Another thing I'd like to talk about has to be game feel. This game feels kind of like Smash Bros. Brawl, but it's got a couple of things that that are kind of different. First of all, I'm going to get into some like technical fighting game jargon, but the game has a couple of mechanics that it kind of pulls from like Smash games in general. First of all, there's like the directional air dodge, and this one is a lot like Ultimate's air dodge. You can dodge in any direction. It's not like super deadly if you like dodge off stage, but it is pretty punishable. It doesn't give that much invincibility, and you can kind of kill yourself accidentally sometimes. It kind of looks like you can wave dash, and the future updates promise that they'll add in wave dashing, but it doesn't really feel like you can shmove like you can in like Rivals of Aether or Melee. And I come from playing a lot of Rivals of Aether because that breaks your hands less. The game doesn't have like smash attacks, right? So like the only strong attacks you have are like your side smashes. Every character has like all their tilts and all their specials, but since it's a mobile game, the only smash attacks you're going to have are your side smashes. And that game is, I don't know, it kind of feels weird to not have like a strong attack to like call out your opponents. And so you oftentimes kind of feel like you get screwed if someone lands like right on top of you. Unless it's a few characters, like especially the better characters who have good anti-air options. The game feels kind of slippery, I guess. Or maybe not slippery, but like you can't really dash dance. I have no idea like what to say about that, but being unable to dash dance makes like microspacing a little hard if you don't jump. I also would like to mention that the roster feels really unbalanced. When you're playing against people, particularly those who have been upgrading their characters, like not necessarily good at the game, but like spending money on the game. The hitboxes feel gigantic, like especially compared to the visuals. A lot of moves feel super lagless. Like you block a move and you can't even punish it with a grab, like even if they don't space it that well. And specifically I'm thinking like Thanatos. Like, ugh. It's just ridiculously hard to punish. And Chili, a lot of her moves, like she's a very, very small character, right? Like they added in essentially like a very little Red Riding Hood into the game. Her moves, like her Nair and her jab, they are deceptively large, like especially when you compare them to her visuals. Frankly ridiculous, and it makes the game feel really weird to play. When I play Flash Party, right, I play a lot of the ranked mode, and when I started off, I was pretty impressed. You would go into a 3-stock match, and it's kind of just like a 1v1. Pick a character, your opponent picks the character. Actually, there aren't any like bans or anything, but you kind of just pick your character and hop in. You fight the guy, your rank goes up. And I was pretty happy with it, and I grinded all the way up to Platinum, and that's kind of where the experience fell apart. The issue is, when you get to Platinum, it changes from just a 1v1 with like no special rules to a team relay race. Or not a team relay race, but like a team relay match. And it's kind of like Squad Strike in Smash Ultimate, where you pick 3 characters, and then you kind of have the 3 characters play throughout the match. The big issue with it is that it makes the game like super duper pay to win, because like if you're free to play, you can grind up the battle pass and upgrade your character to max level in about a month or 2. And I played about 15 to 20 hours to essentially max out Savi without like the special stickers, just like his super stickers. But the issue is, once you get to Squad Strike, I'm left with my level 9 character, and I have a bunch of level 1 characters that have nothing. They're weak, they don't have all the stats that you need, I don't even have the experience that I need to like outskill my opponents, because the general skill level is pretty low. And so the experience went from pretty easy, maybe too easy, to genuinely frustrating. And I don't know, the ranked mode is just garbage once you get good. Or at least you get to Platinum, because the overall skill level is pretty low. And so I ended up reaching out to my friend who happens to run that crew. Shout out to Psychaotic. And he recommended I join one of the tournaments that were hosted by his crewmates. And so I ended up joining a tournament a while ago. I forget the name of it. And the rule set, it's a lot different. It's a lot more like an official Smash tournament. It's very skill based. You tend not to get screwed over or anything. I think it was the Lost in the Sauce with that tournament. But it's kind of a 1v1 best of 3. You go up against the character. You only use your super stickers, and the super stickers are kind of like star powers in Brawl Stars. They offer a lot of customizability without making it like super duper frustrating, because you're not investing a lot of things into like little advantages to make your combo string better. In the tournaments I played, like the people who take this game seriously take it really seriously, and it really shows in like how refined their gameplay is. They space their moves extremely well. They recover from disadvantageous positions super well, and they have a really good combo game. And of course their characters are maxed out, which my character was not. He was most of the way there, but not quite. I really enjoyed it, and the community was really nice from my limited interactions with them. However, it definitely brought to light like some of the things that were kind of annoying balance-wise. And I gotta say, the most egregious character has to be S17. And it's like this shield-bearing woman, and she's kind of like Min-Min in Smash, but all of her moves are armored. And so you kind of are trying to space around her moves that are insanely disjointed, insanely armored, and insanely lagless. And she has a bunch of like abilities that make her really frustrating to fight against. And I don't know. I don't know how they balance the game and think that's a good idea, because she's a terror at low levels, and she's still really good at high levels. So, I did end up going 0-2 in that tournament, by the way, but I had a pretty good time. I'd consider joining again if I ever have the free time. Overall, though, I definitely think that Flash Party passes the Vibecheck. I would recommend it to people who are interested in fighting games. I definitely recommend it to people who kind of want a more casual experience. Because like when you play Melee or play Rivals of Ether and you go online, I would generally say that the people there are a lot more invested in the game, and they tend to be a lot better. You don't really need to do anything to get started in the game, because the skill floor is pretty low. You can come in from another Smash game and do pretty well, I think, especially around the usual player base. They tend to not be all that great. I would recommend joining the competitive scene. You can look up PK, the Peacekeepers. They have a pretty large crew and the most successful one. And they're more than willing to help people improve at the game and help with mentality. I wouldn't really recommend the game if you are like really hardcore into like Melee or Project M. If you're looking for like a serious experience that you could devote like a ton of hours to, like truly refining your movement and gameplay, this game isn't really for you. It doesn't reward your like inherent skill as much as it rewards your wallet for how much you open it. Overall, I'm pretty happy to have picked up this game. I'm pretty happy to have been recommended it by Steam. Welcome to the end of the video. I'm glad you stuck with me all the way through. Be sure to check out Jaded Infinite's Vibecheck on Framemakers, which he released a little while ago. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. See ya!